I think I've made a terrible mistake. I wrote a story, a short, scary story, and now it's coming true. It all started this morning. I was in the bathroom, just washing my face. When I looked up into the mirror, my reflection was smiling at me, but I wasn't smiling. My face was just blank, water dripping down my chin. But the man in the mirror was grinning from ear to ear, a huge, predatory smile that didn't even reach his eyes. Look, you have to understand, scaring people is what I do. I'm a horror writer. I'm not famous or anything, but I make a living. I pay my bills by dreaming up monsters and telling their stories. I'm always looking for that next big scare, you know? That one idea that'll make people double-check their locks at night. For my latest story, I thought I'd finally found it. I was so proud of this one. The concept was simple. It was intimate, psychological. I called it The Tapping Man. I spent weeks building the lore, making up rules to make this thing feel grounded, believable. In the story, this entity lives in reflections. After the whole smiling thing in the bathroom, I tried to brush it off. I told myself I was just seeing things. I'd been working on a deadline for 3 days straight. I was exhausted, living on coffee. My mind was just playing tricks on me. That's what I told myself. I splashed my face with water, hard. When I looked back, my reflection was just me again, tired, stressed out, and definitely not smiling. I let out a shaky breath and tried to just forget about it. But the feeling wouldn't go away. I felt like I was being watched, like every single thing I did was being scrutinized. Later that afternoon, I was heating up some leftovers in the microwave. I was just staring at it, waiting for the timer to go off. And in the dark glass of the door, I saw my reflection. It was standing perfectly still, just like me. And then it lifted a hand and waved. My own arms were hanging right at my sides. I literally stumbled backward and knocked a chair over. The moment I knew for sure, the moment I knew this wasn't just in my head, came that night. I was in my office, trying to work. The house was dead quiet. And then I heard it. Tap, tap. I have this huge window in my office that looks out into the backyard. At night, it's just a big black mirror. I found myself staring into it, at my own pale, worried face staring back. And as I watched, the sound came again, but clearer this time. My eyes locked with my reflections, and that's when I saw it. And it was tapping, silently, on its side of the glass. The motion was perfectly in sync with the sound that was echoing in my ears. A cold dread, colder and more real than anything I have ever written, washed over me. The tapping man was real, and he was here. I ran back to my desk. My hands were shaking as I pulled out the manuscript. I scanned the rules I'd written like a madman in hope to find anything that would help me stop all this. It feeds on attention, I whispered. To ignore it is to make it weak. So I tried. I covered every reflection. Mirrors, TVs, even picture frames. For a day, it worked. The tapping quieted. The feeling of being watched began to fade. I had hope. But it adapted. It found reflections in spoons, puddles, magazine covers, any surface with a sheen. The tapping came back, louder, constant, surrounding me. On the third night, I broke. While getting a glass of water, my trembling hands dropped it. As I picked up the shards, I saw a reflection, me, but standing, calm, beckoning. I panicked. I ran to the one mirror I hadn't covered, my final arena. I stood before it, breath held. My reflection stared back, just me. Then it moved. Its hand pressed against the glass, which rippled outward. It was crossing over. I did the only thing I never wrote into the story. I smashed the mirror. Silence. The presence was gone, but so was my reflection. In the broken shards, I saw everything but me. And then, from the shattered frame, he stepped out. Me, but different. Rested. Thank you, he said. I couldn't break it from my side. I had to make you do it. He left through the front door. Now I stand in the ruins, blood dripping from a hand I can no longer see. I was the reflection, and I just let the monster out. If this story unsettled you even a little, hit like, subscribe. I need witnesses, because I don't know what happens next.